What's going on, you guys? It's your huggable hipster here, and welcome back to Soulsborne Academy. Don't mind the hunter in the corner, they're just here for your protection. In today's episode of Soulsborne Academy, I'm going to show you guys how I defeat Bayle. Curse you, Bayle! This has to be, hands down, the best boss. Oh god, do I really think it's the best boss? One of the best bosses. I freaking love Midra, okay? Midra is probably number one for me, and then it's Bayle, and then it's Renala because, freaking Rellana. God, Bayle has to be one of the best bosses I ever fought. My entirety of Elden Ring and the DLC combined. It's just so good. It's cinematic. It's wonderful. Game of Thrones really leaked in there through George R.R. Martin's writing. I mean, it's unavoidable. This isn't really a tutorial. There are way better tutorials out there for Bayle, which you guys can check out. This is just my way of adding to the discussion and adding another way that can possibly help you guys. The one thing, first off, that I would highly recommend is dying a bunch of times. I don't mean it in the sense of just going in there, standing still and letting him take a whack at you. No, I mean it in the way of where you want to be able to get the scope of the boss. You want to be able to see the arena in proximity to what the boss battle and the attacks are. This is something I've mentioned before in regards to Bloodborne, but it really honestly works, and I've noticed it working ever since I started fighting some of like the smaller bosses in Bloodborne. And now Elden Ring and Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3 and Dark Souls 2. But you want to go in there and you want to be able to kind of do a circle around the boss like a crow. Being able to see what the attacks are, even getting hit, but dodging a lot and getting to see like in proximity how far the hit is, what kind of hitbox the monster has. And when you go into the boss battle arena, like I said, dying doesn't mean getting whacked around. It means that you keep yourself moving, but keep yourself at a distance that is manageable. So you can actually see the boss battle, see the attacks, see what's going on, and do this for a few times. That way you know what attacks you can roll into, what attacks you need to just stay clear away from, and what attacks you can parry, counter, whatever it may be. Now, I will be transparent in the fact that I did not think that this boss was difficult from my perspective. When I went in, it took me 6 tries in total in order to beat it. Oh, also, before I forget, if you do not summon Aigon, you are missing out on an entirely cinematic experience. It's not that difficult to actually get Aigon as a summon either. You just need to keep going along Jagged Peak, and as you progress, you are going to see 2 drakes there. Fight those 2 drakes and then interact with Aigon and you get his bloody finger. As soon as you obtain that bloody finger, that will allow you, when you enter into the boss arena, to have his summon sign there so you can utilize him for co-op. You get a little distraction for the boss and you get to hear the great dialogue that occurs. So please, I would highly recommend summoning Aigon for this. So when you first get in, it's really chaotic. Bayle is going to either come right at you or spew fire. In this instance, he spewed this electric fire at me. It looks pretty awesome. This attack, he will come right at you and he will swallow you and chomp on you. It is probably one of the worst attacks that he can do, just purely based on the fact of like, if you're not prepared or you're not ready for it, it can almost one-shot you. He does a lot of slam attacks, and he does a lot of attacks of where he utilizes his 1-finger claw, so you want to move as far away from that as possible. I would honestly say pre-roll when you start to see his arm go back a little bit, the one that has the 1-finger claw. That's just what I'm calling it. He does a lot of tail swipes as well, so you want to look out for that. As soon as you see kind of like the reddish color illuminate from his mouth, that's how you know he's going to be either spewing something or he's going to be coming in very close to you for that chomping attack. He'll do these rushing attacks towards you as well, and he's very easily distracted, so you can get several attacks in if you have Aigon in there. And look at that, see, that's impenetrable thorns. It stuns him very quickly, and look at all that damage. I'm sorry, I'm just very impressed by the amount of damage that impenetrable thorns does. You're going into his second phase now, and his second phase is probably the most beautiful and the most chaotic. I mean, look at that. Seriously, look at that. He'll start flying, and you'll have these orbs that will come and attack you. If you're not prepared, these all can one-shot you. I was one-shot by these twice. It's not fun. See how much damage that does? Yeah, not cool, man. But you want to dodge and you want to keep rolling as much as possible. Aigon is a beast. He will be there for most, if not the entire fight. All of these are lightning fire beams that will come down. So you need to be prepared as much as possible. He does the dashes and he will do different swipes at you. So just, that's what I'm saying. Dodge, dodge, dodge. And much like Placidusax, he has these lightning beam things that will come down at points during the boss battle in the second phase. I don't even know what to call it at this point. He has a winged claw poker thing that illuminates in his second phase. So you want to stay clear of that a lot of the time, making sure that he is within your distance. If you're going underneath him, a lot of his fire attacks will go underneath his stomach. So you want to make sure you're staying away from that as far as you can. And there he goes again to try to chomp on you. He got me, and he does a lot of damage with that attack. So if you do get an attack like that, make sure you are at full health. That way you have a bit of a buffer so you are still alive. Now there are sections of the boss arena that will do this massive pool of lava like you just saw. So just make sure that you are out of that range. Now, while he's being distracted, this is your time to heal. This is your time to do impenetrable thorns. This is your time to do a lot of heavy hitting attacks. And again, he'll try to chomp on you. You can just get out of there. I mean, it's really easy to get out of there unless you get distracted by a myriad of things that are going on, which there's a lot happening in this boss. There really is, and it's easy to get distracted. Now, a lot of his attacks are very similar to Placidusax. Right now, he's doing his flying, and he'll do, spewing flame, or he'll do the orbs, or he'll dive right at you. So you really want to be aware of where he is constantly. And, I kind of lost track of him there for a second. But he's taking all of his attention out on Igon, which is perfect, so you can get him with the impenetrable thorns. Now, after this last bit, this was when I realized, oh crap, I don't have any more magic to supply to myself. So I had to utilize the greatsword. And if you are just fighting with a sword and you don't have any magic or incantations anymore, it's going to be a lot more difficult of a fight, but it's not unmanageable. You just have to keep aware of the distance between you and Bayle. And you want to get out of the way for those chomping attacks as well, because those are deathly. And you want to move away sideways whenever he does that. I found that's the best way to go about staying out of his range for fire attacks, is moving away sideways and rolling. And when he lands down and he tries to land on top of you, move away sideways and forwards. It sounds strange, but it works. And that was the last hitter, and Bayle is down. But yeah, that was how I beat Bayle. I mean, I know that there's so many different tutorials out there, again, on how to beat Bayle, but that was my version of it. I'm not a professional tutorialer. That's not even a word, but it's the word I'm going to use. It was a very fun fight. I honestly was so incredibly shocked about how beautiful it was. There's so many different types of dragon fights within the universe of Souls games and Souls-likes within From Software. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you use this video to help you beat Bayle, also let me know. I'd love to hear it. But that's it for me. If you guys like my face and what I do, please be sure to subscribe and hit that bell down below. If you find your worth in the waking world, dear hunter, stay casually nerdy, and I will see you all in the next video. Umbasa.